Meow meow.
We were just talking about Chanel. She's not here right now. She's at a friend's house. But you guys remember that live stream on Christmas when Chanel was attacking my head and it was out of control? I miss that.
Okay. Get the comments rolling.
Ta-da!
That's me.
This is Cedric. I took this photo. This is Jeju. He took this photo. This is me at Busan. He took this photo.
Yeah, we're really proud of that.
Finally decorating the house.
All right. I can't see the chat. I don't know if you guys are chatting it.
Nobody's
chatting it up.
chatting.
Hold on. Let me see.
Nobody has anything to say.
There we go. So we got Cam, Seth in the house. We've got John.
Hey, John.
What's going on, John? We only have 2 comments.
Welcome to the live.
All right, so for you early ones, I see that there's 7 likes already on the video, so make sure you like the stream. What's up, Hingle?
Hingleberry.
Francisco's in the house. You be quiet in here, I know.
Because Chanel's not here.
Speaking of quiet, let me put on some music.
Oh, maybe that's what he's alluding to.
Nah, I think there was just nobody chatting. Let's see here.
Cherry tomatoes. People used to think tomatoes were poisonous because they're red. That's nice.
Getting a little background music.
Oh, Seoul in September.
What are you coming to Seoul for, Francisco? Are you coming to visit? Are you coming to live?
To work. Hi, Ivy.
Ivy, long time.
If you're gonna come in September is a great time to come. The weather's gonna be really nice. I think, yeah, you're gonna have fall. It's a beautiful time.
1 month and a half vacation. Man, so
Perfect timing.
yeah, I think it will definitely be very hot. So the first tip would be to prepare for that.
In September?
Well, so, oh wait, you're coming in September? Okay. Yeah, September will be really hot.
September's gonna be great. September is good weather.
No, I think it's still hot because October is when it starts to cool down a little bit. Yeah, so definitely just be prepared for the hot weather. Be prepared for a little bit of humidity, and I mean, so you're gonna have to wear a mask anyway, but there might be some fine dust as well. So I guess that would be like the first tip. Other tip is if this is gonna be your first time visiting, so I would say, you know, hit up some of the main touristy spots. You have a month and a half, so you have a lot of time. So yeah, definitely visit Seoul Tower, visit Lotte Tower, and Lotte World, which is one of the theme parks in Korea, is actually right next to Lotte Tower.
It's good.
So that would be fun if you're hanging out with people.
There's a lot of places you can go. I mean, I don't know what's gonna be active during COVID times. Like Myeongdong area is always great to check out at least once, but these days it's totally empty. For example.
Yeah, that's the bummer. Yeah, because Myeongdong's one of the like places you gotta visit, but right now it's empty. Businesses are, you know, out of business.
Yeah, you can't really go partying in Hongdae or Itaewon. Still worth to visit though. I mean, there's still lots to see.
Yeah.
Maybe around that time, I guess it's not gonna be like tanfung season. You can go hiking and stuff. There's a lot of beautiful locations to visit. And you know, you don't even have to stay in Seoul. There's so many things outside of Seoul that's really nice. Okay,
Indeed.
are you checking the chats here?
I'm trying to. So like live streaming on the phone, the chats only stay up for like a couple seconds.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, Francisco will go everywhere. Yeah, and definitely like visit other places in Korea too.
Yeah,
That'd be
there's
fun.
so much to see, seriously. And it's very easy to get everywhere in one day. So you could even go down to Busan, stay in Busan for 2 days.
Right.
And then from Busan, head up to where? Like, you can go just everywhere. Go to Jeju-do too. Let's see. Okay, we did miss a lot of messages. Like, is that Cedric's cat on the couch? This is Pancake. You might
It's Becky's
recognize.
cat.
I used Pancake in the Mayor video on the Halfie project. You might recognize Pancake.
I'm trying to pull it up here on
But
the
his
iPad.
cat is Chanel. Chanel's his real cat. I wish some people here probably don't even know Chanel yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Chanel didn't appear too often. I wish you could meet Chanel.
Heart donations. Nice to see you as well.
We have Abdul Ali from Toronto. Hi. 15 days quarantine. So yeah, have to do the 2 days quarantine.
So yeah, so that'll be a portion of your trip, huh?
Yeah.
I guess
while
while
during
you're
that
quarantined,
time, you could look up where you're gonna go.
yeah, and then also you could like order delivery food and stuff. That'd be cool. Okay, great. Let me see. I got the chat pulled up.
Blank ink spots. This is our new place. You haven't seen the house tour yet because we didn't film it. But it's beautiful. It's a beautiful place. The kitchen is gorgeous. No clubs. Yeah, I think clubs are still going to be shut down. Everything is still closing by 10, right?
Well, I think in Seoul
For the most part.
I think they extended a couple of places to 12.
Like, no clubs. Some bars are open, but I think closed by 10. There's a bunch of different rules. Some of them are confusing, but just expect not like huge party scenes or anything like that. You can go to museums. There's a lot of cool museums you can visit.
Yo, Rad, thank you. Rad says the shots look good on the wall.
Yes.
I actually thought about that,
I'm
man.
very
I
proud of
appreciate that.
these.
Yeah, I just because we do have a website, skycity.com. That's mostly like to get clients and to show our work, but I can consider selling prints on those. Yeah, I think I will.
Do you think people would buy them?
That's the thing. Like, I need to have the audience, which to start with, I think maybe some of you guys might be interested. But yeah, they turn out really well. Like, we ordered it from just I don't know if it's a local Korean company, but pretty inexpensive.
Looks nice.
Yeah.
Hingo McCringleberry asks, how does Bob like the new apartment? Bob is not here. By the way, Bob is also Chanel. We call Chanel Bob when we were filming, because if you say the name Chanel, Chanel will be like, yes, and she'll come and bother you because she thinks you're calling her. So when we didn't want her to bother us, but we needed to refer to her, we would say Bob. So funny. So anyway, Bob is not here. Chanel is hanging out at another friend's house for the time being. So Bob has not seen the new apartment yet. But yeah, Bob is quite extra. Bob is so extra. Guys, Chanel gained a whole kilo in a month. And it took 10 months for her to gain just 3 kilos.
She's getting fat.
I don't know how that happened, but I mean, that's a good thing. I really wish you guys could see Chanel. I miss her so much.
Yeah.
But soon.
By the way, if and y'all can be honest, I know there's only 20 of you guys in the chat, 22 maybe. But if I were to sell some of my prints online, would you buy them? Just curious. You could be honest. But
What if God,
actually, I don't want to know.
No.
I don't want to
Do you
know.
know how bad those are? We hate your photos.
Like, I guess we would choose, obviously like the really nice ones to print.
No,
to sell.
just the bad ones. Only bad ones. Some people want bad ones.
Yeah.
Favorite chicken dish? What's your favorite chicken dish that I make?
Man, I don't know. I think honestly the honey lemon chicken thing.
Oh, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, she makes like chicken adobo, Filipino dish. She makes like teriyaki style chicken or like a honey chicken.
Yeah, I make like a honey, garlic, parmesan, lemon.
Yeah, the parmesan
That's a
lemon
good
I
one.
think is actually my favorite. But it's not something that I would want to eat like every week.
It's not easy to make because you have to do all the frying.
Yeah.
But my kitchen is so big and beautiful. You guys have to see it. Okay, let's see. I think I can move to Seoul because of the money. Is 1 million enough? Are you talking about 1 million USD? Then yeah, that's enough. 1 million won, however, it's probably. I mean,
So 1,000,001 is about 800. I don't know what the conversion rate is now, but around anywhere between 800 to 900, depending on what the conversion rate is.
USD.
Oh, 1 million
You're
USD.
fine.
Oh, you good? Yeah.
Unless he's like, I only live in penthouses and I drive in a hovercraft, in which case it won't be enough.
True.
But you can definitely find a very decent place. You could even get a car.
Yeah. I mean, I would with $1 million. Let's just dream here. Like,
Go to Journey of Finance YouTube channel, and then he'll explain to you.
I would probably. I definitely wouldn't buy a place here. I don't think. I would just rent. And then,
Rent.
yeah, I wouldn't spend my million here.
Yeah. Houses is very expensive here.
Because you could lock up a huge amount in a deposit, which I do not like. I don't like that system. It doesn't make sense to me. It's cool in that. All right, so let me explain. So they have like what's known as jeonse, which is where you could put a big amount of money down in a deposit,
Like 100,000 USD.
or 200, 300, depending on the place, and you can, based on how much you put down, it'll determine how much you'll pay a month, right? And I've heard people who pay like a couple $100,000 in a deposit, and their rent is like either a couple of $100 basically or free.
Yeah.
I don't know if they still do that with today's like market conditions, but that's just, and basically you get the money back, if you move out, but it doesn't make sense because your money's just locked up. But so I would just keep renting, at least for the time being.
Yeah,
With $1 million.
Don't let your money just sit there and depreciate over time. You have to keep money moving and active. Money is like a shark. If it stands still, it's dead. You need to keep it moving.
She's been listening to me, guys.
I learned so much.
Okay, so Francisco's a developer for Google. That's cool.
That's
Her
awesome.
sister works.
Yeah, my sister works at Google.
Yeah.
I think my sister's a developer.
Really? You don't know what your sister is?
Oh, interesting.
So it looks like Francisco's actually serious,
Francisco,
right?
where are you at?
So as far as the visa, like, I don't know if there's too many options. So if you're not half Korean or Korean, let me know if you are. I don't want to assume, but you wouldn't be able to get like a F4 visa. So I think your options would be to get a job, obviously, with a company that'll sponsor you, maybe a developer
Google
job.
Korea.
Yeah. Or you could get a I think it's like a D8 visa, which is for people who start businesses. So you would have to technically start a business here, and you need at least $100,000, maybe 100 million won or 100,000 US dollars. I can't remember, to be able to start a business. I'm not sure if there's too many other options for a non-Korean that isn't working here.
Right. It's probably like the safest thing is to have a visa plan before you come.
Open a bar? Yeah. I don't know how easy it is, but I'm pretty sure if you have the money and you know how to, I guess you're familiar with the process of opening a business here. And there's a Seoul startup or Seoul Global Business Center here that'll help you actually do that. It is possible.
We're
for sure.
interviewing the Google or the global startup guy tomorrow.
Oh, for real?
For KS, it's Mike.
Oh, I didn't know.
We can ask him. But yeah, it's just I think opening kind of restaurant-based businesses in Korea is highly competitive.
Yo, Archer
That's what I
says,
think.
Francisco,
I
you
saw
super
that.
sister.
Kim, is that you?
Yo, dude, if you open a bar, that'd be sick.
We'll come. I'll come. I'll drink there every day.
Let's see.
But Francisco, I think money is not a problem. Yeah, it's just activating the best plan, or getting a job first to be visa sponsored is I think the most stable. You can do it for like a year and then get your ducks lined in a row. while you're here, because then you can also figure out better if you want to open a business, what would work best, where you want to do it, who you would want to work with, because you're probably going to need some Korean partners to help navigate that, the business side here. Otherwise, if you come right now, especially with the pandemic, and you just come on a tourist visa, leaving and coming back is very, very difficult with quarantining and all of that.
Right.
What if Francisco is just trolling us?
No, it's
He
definitely
sounds
possible.
sincere. By the way, Mirth from Milwaukee, now in Texas. Yeehaw! So hot there. Michael says I own only the misprints. Oh, he only wants our bad photos. We have plenty of, of me bad photos, because he doesn't delete anything, guys. He keeps everything. I don't know why. He says you never know when you're gonna need this. I know when you're gonna need this. When you need to throw it in the trash, that's when you're gonna need it. Because they're bad photos, but he keeps them all. Hey, Dimitri. Welcome. It's been a long time. And let's see. Open a bar. Open a cat bar. Cam is in here dropping the funniest little comments. Yeah, open a cat bar. Cat cafes are common. If you're gonna open a cat cafe though, you want to make sure your cats are well taken care of. And not too many in one place. You should open a bar and just have like 2 cats. They'll be like the bar cats. And then everyone would want to come to see the bar cats. I would come. I was gonna come anyway. Goodbye. Hello. Came back from work. Happy to see us.
Goodbye,
Hey.
G.
Yeah. Goodbye. Hello. Good to see you. Yeah, Francisco, you could transfer with Google. There are Google positions. My sister actually,
Are there?
yeah, she actually told me to work for Google Korea. Like some years back when I was looking for a job, she said you should work for Google Korea.
Yo, that'd be so cool.
Yeah.
Like, look into that and keep us updated,
There's
man. That'd
also-
be sick.
That would be very interesting to see what you do. Oh my gosh, we're so cute and gorgeous right now.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see. Archer said, you promised to bring us, oh yeah, the flaming hot Cheetos. Do you remember I was begging for that? I still plan to. Oh boy. I look forward to that. I love flaming hot Cheetos. Do you want to hear a sad story?
Oh, I know what you're gonna say.
My friend,
Does she know, by the way?
no, she got me a little bag of flaming hot Cheetos for my birthday. It's very hard to get flaming hot Cheetos in Korea. And she went out of her way to get it for me, a little bag. And I brought it home and in a different bag. Brought it home and I put it down by the counter where usually the recycle bin is. Just put it there temporarily. I go looking for it the next day. It's gone. So I thought, oh my gosh, you threw away my hot Cheetos because you thought it was trash.
Mm-hmm.
It's worse. He saw it. He thought I was throwing it away. And he ate them.
Yeah, because it was in like the trash piles. And
No, it
so,
wasn't.
Or the
It was in a
recycle.
separate bag.
Was it?
Why would you think I'd throw away hot Cheetos?
I don't know. And then I ate it later that day, or the day after, I think.
I would never.
Because I put it in my gym bag. Because I usually toss the trash before I go to the gym.
Would you throw away a bar of gold?
No.
Would you throw
Are
away
you likening?
an iPad? No. Why would I ever throw away hot Cheetos?
Yeah. So Archer, you need to hurry up and come here quick. Please.
I mean, I do want to keep my liver intact and my stomach lining because it's so bad for you. But that was my first bag in a long time. At least someone enjoyed it.
It was I.
Who do you think you are?
I mean, I'm not a big fan of hot Cheetos.
Then
like
why
that.
did you eat them?
Because I thought you were trying to throw them away, and then I needed a snack.
Oh gosh. It hurts me.
Archer's coming in March.
Archer and Marcher.
Yeah.
Archer.
Hey guys, if you're in the chat and you didn't like the video or like the stream, just do me a favor and hit that like button real quick.
March 2022. No! I can wait that long.
It's only next year.
Archer and Marcher. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you guys like the video. I'm sorry, I'm a little behind the times.
Love your energy, guys. I feel like I'm so like chill right now.
I had a friend from Toronto. He taught me slang. He said that the slang is arms. I'm like, yo, that's arms. You ate my Cheetos? That's arms.
What does that mean?
It's like, oh, that's rude. That's bad. That's not cool.
That's arms.
You thought I threw away my Cheetos? That's arms.
Never heard that before.
Tell me if that's correct. That's what he said to me. But now that I think about it, he could have been teasing me.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Anybody from Canada that can confirm?
Yo, that's arms. No, I think that's true. That was my friend Nifty. That's not his real name. That was my nickname for him. Nifty.
Yo, we've got 26 people watching, and then we have 25 likes.
Who is that one person who didn't like this video? Get out!
Don't do that. Don't get out.
Get out and bring your friends.
Yeah.
See, yeah.
Where's everybody at?
That's true. Okay. John says, you guys have plans for kids? What kids are you talking about? I don't have plans for the kids down the street. I don't have plans for his sister's kids. We could make plans for them. But some kids like to be spontaneous, you know? You can't plan everything. Right, John? Right?
She's avoiding the question.
I'm not avoiding the question. You ate my Cheetos, so you have nothing to say. How about fur babies? Little cats?
No more animals, yo.
Little Chanels? One Chanel, and then I do want a dog. I talked about this with my friend yesterday, because listen to this. She says, this is Kion. Kion thinks that you and I will eventually get a big, nice house outside of the city, kind of like in Yongin. And then she thinks on the first floor, we're going to set up our studio. So it'll be like the studio, it'll be the music room, it'll be the recording studio. Then she thinks on the second floor, that's where we're going to live. And I'll have my own little room with a big window that looks out over all of our whatever's going to be there. And I can write there and have a big kitchen. And then we'll have Chanel and a dog.
I don't know about that, man.
Well, I love to have
I don't know about that.
I want a little dog too. But not a little dog. I don't like little dogs. I like 적당히, you know? Like a medium-sized dog. Like I like you know what kind of dog? Like Basenjis, for example. You know the Basenji dog? Basenji dogs, they're the ones that are like really standoffish. Remember? I took a photo at the cafe.
Right.
I like those kind of dogs. Some terriers.
I like, so just so that you guys don't think I hate animals or pets, I like pets, but I personally I've never really envisioned myself owning any pets. So it's sort of it's a miracle that we have Chanel. But that was sort of, the reason why I was cool with the cat is because I was basically told that cats are very low-key and quiet and not troublesome, and they mind their own business. And so I was like, okay, cool. And we got Chanel, and Chanel's none of those things.
Chanel is an annoying little dog. She is. Yeah, she's not just chill and whatever and independent at all. You're like, hey Chanel. She's like, what? Yeah? What are you doing? What are you doing? What'd you call me? And then she bothers you. You guys know. Go watch a previous live stream. You'll see her in there. Oh boy. I love Chanel. I miss her so much. And I talk about her all the time. I'm so sorry.
John doesn't have any kids. He's 28. And then Archer decides to share that Archer's 26 in 6 days. No kids.
Happy birthday, previous 6 days. Woo!
Panda says, you guys never age. I guess you're talking about us.
Did you guys see my post on my Instagram my comparison between my passport photo from 10 years ago. It was so shocking. I have not. I didn't know I had that kind of glow up. I sincerely thought like, oh, I've always looked like this.
You should look it up and then show them.
I really thought. Oh, I think I deleted it. Oh, it's on my Instagram, right?
Mm-hmm.
I really thought this is just how I looked for all of this time, but huge glow up. I was stunned, shocked, astounded, staggered.
Goodbye G says, I low-key thought they were in their 20s and they're around 30.
Who?
Yes, I take that. I'll take that.
Oh, I don't have it anymore. I don't know where it is. Look, it's
It's
blank.
probably one of those.
Yeah, it's blank. I think it's this one. No, I think it's this one. Oh well, I can't show you. I'm sorry, but if you remember it, it was really amazing and funny. So weird because I remember back then my friend and I, we'd be like, "What's?" It's so silly now that I saw that photo. We would look at each other and we'd be like, "I don't understand why guys don't ask us out on dates."
Really?
Yeah, Anna and I, we'd look at each other and be like. To give you an idea of what Anna looked like back then, people used to think we were twins, okay?
Mm-hmm. Oh, man.
So we look at each other and say, I mean, we're like funny, smart, and we're pretty girls. Why aren't guys asking us out on dates? And we'd be like, if I was a guy, I'd ask you on a date. And now that I see that photo, I'm like, well, that's why. You know, they're not asking out us on dates. Oh boy, that was very funny. I just had that flashback. Okay, I missed a lot of messages. I'm gonna go back here. Let me see. Okay. By the way, Francisco says when he comes, I will buy you a drink. Let's go out. I will go with my wife there. Is your new bar? Will there be cats? Hey, Tara saw you in the Samsung ad. 좋다.
Who? Which one?
Who?
Me?
You? Me? Probably you, because you most recently one came out, right?
Yeah.
I'm waiting for one to come out.
What was your last? You did the frame. That was your last one.
For Samsung? No, I did the other one where I was the EMT. There's another Samsung one coming out.
Yeah, she's got another one coming out.
I'm a medical professional.
She was wearing like this red jumpsuit.
No, you can't say it like that. People think I'm like a hip Santa Claus.
What was it?
It was an EMT outfit.
A red jumpsuit?
No, it's like EMT.
Uh-huh. But it was a jumpsuit. Okay, I'm
Technical
sorry.
terms, okay?
Alright.
And then there's the ambulance, and I jump out of the ambulance, and I'm carrying my what do you call it? You know, like the box with all your medical supplies.
Man, don't let there be an emergency around.
And there's a car accident, and then the director was like, "Okay, Becky, when I say go, you need to run out from behind the ambulance and run towards the car, and then you have to run past the police who are following me, and I'm the one in charge."
Mm-hmm.
And so he was like, "Action!" So I'm like, and I'm running, and I'm like, "Come on!" And then we're running. It's gonna be very dramatic, but you like it.
Yeah.
I'm very believable as a doctor. Rad Roos, I can neither confirm or deny the arms slang. All right, well, back to square one. Hingle McCringleberry, I can picture Becky writing life plans for local neighborhood children. That's so creepy. I'm just sitting in my window with my binoculars. There's Frederick again.
Frederick.
Oh, Bernard, hi. Long time. Stay blessed. Thank you for joining us. Oh, gosh. Archer doesn't like small dogs either. Well, I mean, let me rephrase this. I like smart dogs. The size doesn't necessarily matter. But I just feel like a lot of small dogs have a complex. Like, "Rah, I'm big. Rah." It's like, no, you're not. You're small. So I like smart dogs. Poodles are very smart. I really like poodles. You can tell. You can see dogs. You can see they're smart or not.
Yeah, she's actually very judgmental.
With dogs. I'm a very open-minded person with everyone else, but with dogs, it's like I see them.
It's like, that dog's stupid.
I don't say
Like, you
that.
don't know that.
I don't say that dog is stupid.
You don't know that.
No, I just say, oh, look at that dog. Or I say, oh, look at that dog. Yeah. You can tell. Goodbye says he wants to be a movie director to make the drama where you're the main characters.
Ooh. So are you a movie director, or do you direct stuff?
It could be like
Filmmaker?
you're the new guy who moves into the neighborhood, and I'm the creepy girl who stares out the window writing stories about people. And then I see you, right? And I see you, and I'm like, who is that guy? And then I start writing a story about him. And then we keep running into each other in the street, awkward moments, because I'm very socially awkward, but you're just like this cool, nice guy. I write this story, but as I'm writing the story, it unfolds in real life. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy story. That would be a good movie. I would watch that.
I just want to get paid for being the main star.
I love Shiba Inu. Shiba Inu is so cute. Cats are amazing. Okay. Ooh, Jindo. I do like Jindos as well. Jindoke. You know Jindoke, the Korean dog? Jindoke? I like Jindokes. They're very
pretty.
super loyal though. So they keep protecting you. Fostering a dog? I would, but Chanel would just... I don't think she could do it right now.
I can't do it.
I like how T was like, I really like the vibe they're giving off. And then the next message was, That's funny. Oh, Panda Gaming, thank you so much. Thank you.
Oh, you're a good role model.
Aww.
That's great. Athrun, I guess you're eating. Athrun? How do you say that? Am I saying it correctly? I'm sorry if I'm not. Athrun says, may not make it to Korea now until next year. Oh, man.
I know a guy named Ethan from Dubai.
Well, I guess it could be a good thing because the pandemic, I think the worst would be over. I mean, the worst is already over, but we're still sort of in limbo mode because vaccinations are taking forever here. But I would imagine by next year, things would be almost fully normal. So you'd be able to enjoy yourself a little more, I think. Yeah.
Yeah,
And you won't have to quarantine, I hope.
hopefully. Yeah. Oh, please hurry up and get the vaccines out so that we can visit our family.
Yeah, so Sammy says, Becky and Cedric, you're both half Koreans. What is your other nationalities? Well, we're both Americans as well.
I think you missed a very important point. It's not just Sammy. It's Sammy from Alabama.
Alabama.
That's funny. Sammy from Alabama.
Yeah, I'm, my other half's African American. Black.
I think Ethiopian. But we're gonna do another DNA test because we did one before, but I don't think it was accurate. Yeah, and actually, I asked my dad. Apparently, there is some Scottish in my background.
Yeah?
Yeah, which is funny because somebody, I can't remember who it was, but was like, "Are you Scottish? Are you Scottish?" And I was so annoyed. I was like, "Stop asking me." And then I asked my dad, and he's like, "Well, yeah, actually, we are." So that was pretty cool. Maybe I should go to Scotland and rediscover my roots.
I would like to go just to go.
Yeah, we should go.
Yeah. Hopefully that answers your question. English bulldogs.
I love
cool.
I love bulldogs.
Bulldogs they're cool. They're cool.
Bulldogs, what was it, the history back to them? Because they used to be bred to be very aggressive. That's why there's still this this concept or misconception that bulldogs are very aggressive. It has to do with their face and the way they can cling onto you and bite you and hold on until they die. Like,
oh, wow.
That's how strong their jaws are. And I think originally, a long time ago, they were trained to, or bred to be aggressive to instigate like bear fights. Like they would fight with bears. It was just really, just bloodshed sport. And then over time, they bred out that aggressive gene. And now bulldogs are actually quite sweet. But there's still that.
They just look very intimidating. They look like
There's a stereotype against them. But bulldogs are sweet. I like bulldogs.
I like pugs.
Pugs, because they have such ugly faces.
They're so ugly and cute.
They're ugly cute. They're like those ugly goldfish. You know what I'm talking about? They look a little bit like that.
Yeah.
I like pugs. I think people have a dog type. You look like you look like I know what you look like. Just wait. Remember I told you this last time? What was that one? They're very slim. Oh, this one. Doberman.
No.
Yes, you give me Doberman vibes. Doberman.
I don't think so.
Totally.
That's more like Snoop Dogg.
What?
Yeah, that's more Snoop Dogg.
This is so you.
You think so?
Dobermans, because they're very sleek. They're
Should let
very
the people
strong.
decide.
They have a fierce look, but they're not really like, they can be fierce. They're pretty intense dogs. I think you remind me a little bit of Doberman. You're like a Doberman Labrador. You have a little bit Labrador vibes too. Yeah. Do you know what my dog is?
Mm-mm. You're one of those long, lanky, skinny dogs.
I am. This is what my sister sent me.
Oh my god. That is you.
An Afghan hound. Yeah, that's what my sisters
totally
were
you.
saying. They were joking, but I think it's kind of true. But I have a little bit of beagle in me thing, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, these are very funny. Okay. Crazy Diamond 96. Good to see you as always. Have you made wedding plans yet? The plan is get married. Woo! There's no plans at the moment. I don't want to start things and then get canceled. Not like that, but like because of COVID.
Just like get cold feet.
No. Yeah, because I just want to make everything work out because we have a lot of things to consider, different places, international people here and there. Let's see. Just have to be patient. That's right. German Shepherd. I can see German Shepherd. Yeah. You're one of those really like chill dogs. You're like chilled out, loyal, and then when something happens, then you're just like, "Arr." You're ready and alert. But otherwise, you don't waste your energy. Just
That's
like,
true.
all right, that's fine. That's come on, okay. I don't trust you. It's like that.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But I am not like that at all. I'm probably more like a Pomeranian.
Just trust everyone.
I'm just like, hey guys, what are you doing? What are you doing? Hey. And then every once in a while, it's like, stop, leave me alone. I'm more of a cat.
So Lynn says, are you all planning to stream your wedding like Uni and her hubby recently? Is that Eunice?
I think it's Eunice.
Eunice.
I know she got married.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. Are we planning it?
I don't know. I guess it just depends. Yeah,
We really
I mean,
don't have plans.
we talked about it and we think we want to, but it really depends on how we set up the ceremony. But it would be really, really cool for you guys to tune in though. So
That will be cool. But yeah, again, I don't have any logistics or plans ready yet. We gotta think of something cool. Do you want to share your big news?
Big news? Sure. Yeah, so we have a couple of exciting things that we're starting and launching. So the first thing, and we mentioned this a couple of live streams ago, is our new podcast that we're starting, which is called The Other Half of It. So that's the official name. And it was actually on the live stream where I think we asked for like name suggestions, and then a lot of you guys just commented different names. And there was one comment where I believe it was, and I have to go back and find it, and I forgot who said it, but I'll definitely find it. Someone suggested Other Half of It or something like that.
The other half.
Yeah, the other half or something like that. And so we took that and we ran with it. And so essentially we've already started recording a couple of the episodes, and we're going to be recording a few more next week. So yeah, we're going to be launching that, I want to say maybe next week or in 2 weeks. So that's pretty exciting. So basically The Other Half of It is a podcast, not to be confused with the Halfie project that we both do as well, but that's for the Halfie project channel. And that has to do with more the Half Korean experience and deep dives into like Korean culture. But the other half of it is more of a chill conversational podcast between Becky and myself.
Kind of like this live stream.
Yeah, very similar. And we're just like talking about certain topics related to maybe living in Korea, related to our work, related to our philosophies and just how we look at things. But it's still under the umbrella of this channel and what we talk about on this channel. Yes.
Thank you, sir. I think it's important to understand Sky City in order to understand the other half of it.
Yeah.
Because the Sky City channel, instead of doing long-term talking videos in the video, we decided to take these conversations that we have about lifestyle, about our philosophies, about behind the scenes of our work, about being a mixed race couple, and put that in the podcast form. So it's long conversational forms where people can really see the underwater part of the iceberg of who we are and what Sky City is included in. And then the Sky City channel continues to be the creative focus, the polished exterior, our final works that we want to show people, the stories. So that is the Sky City, and then that's the tip of the iceberg where everyone sees is like, oh, gorgeous, and then under the water, this is the other half of it. The things that people typically don't see and don't get to hear about how we do the work that we do.
Right. So the type of content that we'll be uploading moving forward, and it doesn't change much from what we have been doing, but our our cinematic vlogs, our short films, and eventually some narrative stuff in the form of short films, and also eventually different documentary type stuff, all related to, again, living in Korean culture. And then we'll have the other half of it podcast, like clips, and also the long form podcast, which won't be like crazy long. I would say between 20 to 30 minutes. And that's going to take the place mostly of our like talking videos.
Yeah.
So, if you go back on our channel the past year and a half with me and Becky, we've done a lot of talking videos where we talk about certain topics. And we're pretty much just transitioning that into podcast format, but it doesn't change too much from what we've been doing. We just basically have, I guess, like mics in front of our faces.
It would be like, it's like, we make a cinematic vlog of Jeju-do. So you saw a cinematic vlog of Jeju-do, and it's 3 minutes long. Wow, gorgeous, polished, and it's wow, this is a story about Jeju-do. Then the next week we release a podcast that's an hour long where we talk about the trip itself. What it was like, what was hard about it, what we enjoyed, what we didn't enjoy, what did we eat, and those kind of things. So there's like the behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. Because I think in order to really understand the artist, we're always asking, what was their motivation behind this project? What were they really trying to say through this piece of art? And that is what we'll be doing. We have the art, Sky City channel, and the motivations and who the artist is, the other half of it podcast.
Right. So essentially, those are some of the like changes coming to the Sky City channel, but it won't change in a sense of like pivoting directions. It's just adding a new format, and it'll still be the same like conversational topics, but we'll be able to dive a little bit deeper. It'll be a little less edited as well. Mm-hmm. That way you guys can just hear us talking to each other, and we're also still talking to you guys through the podcast. Yeah. And so we're gonna have the audio format and the video format, of course, on the channel. And we'll be able to extract like just clips from the longer forms and also upload that on the channel. Yeah. That way we can like continue to upload more content consistently.
Oh, and in the podcast, there is going to be a section called Quick Questions.
Yeah.
So this is where you guys come into play. People who listen to the podcast, watch the videos, questions that you want to ask us. And it's, nothing's really off the table. And you can ask things, what philosophies, lifestyles, advice, things we do, things that you're curious about. And that's when we will address those questions on the podcast.
Right. So we basically have the main topic of the podcast that we'll be talking about, and then we'll have the quick questions where we'll take one of your questions about us or about Korea, anything like that, and we'll answer it in the podcast. And we'll answer it in about 5-6 minutes or so. So it'll
or
be
10-20 minutes.
It depends. So yeah. So be on the lookout for that. We'll announce it through our social medias when we actually officially launch it. Mm-hmm. And if you prefer to actually listen through audio format, you'll have that option as well.
Yeah.
anywhere you get your podcasts. So that's going to be more of a low-key chill podcast, very similar to like Becky said, the live stream.
Yeah.
So super excited about that.
That's when you can ask your questions. Yay!
Yeah.
Okay, wait, I need to catch up a little bit on
Sure.
these. Because George says, I'll marry the two of you. George, we're engaged to each other. You can't marry us both. Okay, I'm already taken. I'm sorry.
Obviously, she's kidding. But thank you so much, George, for the offer. Yeah, so I guess you're a licensed minister.
I guess so, yeah.
Cool.
And what's your favorite food in South Korea? There's so many foods.
There are. Oh my gosh, I don't even know. But
Wow.
no, actually no. I take that back. I would say it's
Samgyeopsal?
yeah, samgyeopsal,
Mm-hmm.
which is pork belly, grilled pork belly, barbecue pork belly.
Mm-hmm.
That would have to be my favorite. I haven't eaten that very often. I think we ate it once.
We haven't in ages.
Well, we ate it once when we moved in. We went to that place. But prior to that, we eat that like very sporadically now.
Uh-huh.
But that would have to be my favorite.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it falls under the Korean barbecue category.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
I don't know. I like everything. I have so many things I like.
Yeah, it's very
I
hard.
like hidappap. But
It's not
hidappap
technically...
is like Japanese.
Yeah, it's not
It's
technically-
Koreanized
Mm,
style.
yeah.
I like a lot of food.
Korean fried chicken we eat the most, I would say. Out of like stuff that we buy,
Oh,
I think we eat that the most.
I guess so.
So it is my favorite in a sense of like casual, unhealthy food. So Korean fried chicken for sure.
Abdul says, Happy Project, the half Egyptian episode was interesting. I'm not sure which one you're talking about. If you mean
Maybe Alex?
Al Goonies, right? The podcast. That one is an older one. I guess I just got confused because I just met another girl who's half Korean, half Egyptian, and I'll just let you guys know. But we're thinking of doing this kind of a series with her, talking specifically about more on the professional. How would you describe it? Like dealing with mixed culture family dynamics, maybe even traumas or family issues. Specifically because she's a therapist, mixed Korean therapist, first one I've ever met, and we had a lot of interesting conversations. And I think that there's a lot of people who are living in mixed homes who have a lot of these family issues that arise or traumas out of miscommunication or misunderstandings. And so she talks about those things specifically. So we thought maybe we should make it like a public sessions kind of thing and discuss specific topics. I think would be helpful because there's really not, in my experience as well, not many counselors who are mixed race who deal specifically with these kind of issues.
Right.
So she's half Korean and half Egyptian, and she's pretty cool. So yeah, I'll keep you guys posted on that. But you can check out the Halfie Project stuff for those updates. Hey Mika.
Mika in the house.
Hello.
It's our boy Mika in Korea.
Did you go back to that cafe? Did you guys go again?
That's a good question. Yeah, we met up with Mika at the time that we took this photo. So, fun fact. Ooh, we have a philosophical question by Panda Gaming. What advice would you give yourself 10 years ago?
10 years ago?
Yeah.
Lose a little weight, Becky.
Yeah. Alluding to her passport photo difference. Is that it?
10 years ago? What was it? 10 years ago? 10 years ago, I was about to come here.
So this is 2011.
That's a very pivotal time for me. I would have said, be single. I think that's what I would have said. At the time, I already knew.
You were dating.
At the time, I think I already had a feeling like no, this isn't gonna be long term. But I still held on to it because of my insecurities or self understanding, not aware of myself.
Be single. Because you were gonna meet me eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for me it would be probably to definitely it would be to not worry about what people think or to please people, to live in that way, because I don't know about now, but I used to be very much a people pleaser. Would you say I'm a people pleaser now still?
I don't think it naturally comes to you to just do what you want.
What do you mean?
I think you're more naturally inclined to, I want to make people happy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to check yourself and be like, wait a minute, this is not going to benefit me
Right.
in the long run. Okay, so no, I can't do that. I got to really... But I think your natural inclination is to be a people pleaser.
Yeah, and it was, I mean, it wasn't extreme, but it was bad enough to where I would base a lot of my decisions on what people thought or people's approval 10 years ago. But around, I guess, 8 or 9 years ago is when that started to shift and change anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I try to make decisions for myself, in a sense of, if I make decisions for me, then I can better serve others through that. Because I look back at the decisions that I used to make in order to, please people, get people's approvals, and then I realize they're not even in my life, or they're not even thinking about me. They don't even care about me. So it just like shows me that, I don't know, that sort of wasted my time and energy with that.
It's not a waste of time and energy. Now you learn what you really want.
Yeah, that's true. So that's what I would tell myself 10 years ago, I think, for sure.
10 years ago. Everything is a matter of timing. Start working out. Even if you're not very good at working out, start 10 years ago. Then 10 years later, you'll be like, wow, I'm very good at working out. Learn a new language. You don't know the language back then, but fast forward in 10 years, you'll be very good at the language.
Mm-hmm.
It's all just a matter of the small increments over time.
Right.
In my opinion.
George Meade says bibimbap. He was stationed in Camp Humphreys.
Uh-huh.
It's not too far from Ulsan.
1983, 1984. Very
Wow, you know what? That's interesting, because my dad was actually he was stationed in Korea during those years, I believe. I think
Was he
1983,
in
1984. I don't know if he was in Humphreys.
What was your dad again?
Air Force?
He was Air Force. I would venture.
That's so funny.
It would probably be Camp Humphreys then. Well, Osan as well. Like Osan, they had Air Force.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
my dad
I
was
could
there.
find that out. I mean, I just have to basically ask my mom. I can't remember, but because I think it was 1983. Because my mom and dad were dating at the time,
It's probably Osan.
and my dad, he got stationed for 1 year, 83 to 84, and he came back and then married my mom in 84.
Oh wow, interesting.
Yeah, so I believe it was 83
What if
to
they
84.
crossed paths?
Yeah, I mean, there's a very big possibility, and my dad's name is George as well.
Osan ASB, because my dad was also Osan Air Force Base. Humphreys, I think, is Army. And they also have Katusa. And then Yongsan was Army, from what I'm aware of.
Yeah. So George, I mean, I don't know if you remember a George Stout by chance, but that was my dad stationed in Korea during that time. So that'd be quite amazing
It would be amazing.
if you guys cross paths.
Panda asks, when is the next video on the Halfie project coming up? Well, funny you should ask. I just finished editing a very interesting interview with Himang. His name is Himang. He's Korean and Indian, and he was born and raised in Beijing, China. So he's got a very interesting story, and actually he just went to the Korean military. So we got to interview him 3 days before he went into military and just kind of see, learn about him, and then we'll release another video talking about pre-military, his thoughts, and then we're in this for the long game. We're gonna wait 1.5 years for him to come out of military, interview him again. What was his change of mindset? So it should be quite an interesting little series. So that one, I think I'm gonna drop it I'm not gonna tell you because I don't want to give you too many expectations, but soon. And then there's some more videos coming as well.
follow-up from Ivy.
What's your goal for the Halfie project for the next 2 years? Where do you plan to take it? Honestly, I just wanted to keep growing. I just want to do more interviews. I think really focusing on interviews and mini documentaries. Those is, I think, how I wanted to start. We'll continue. We'll do the podcast, of course. But yeah, the interviews and the mini documentaries. Halfie project, I think, has the potential to be a very global project. I mean, honestly, in itself, it is just a global thing. So we're here in Korea, but as the pandemic changes and restrictions lift and we're able to travel safely, I'd really love for our team to be able to visit either half Korean communities in different countries, get the stories there. That's the hope and plan. Whether that'll be in 2 or 3 years, not sure. But for now, we're just chugging along.
Vita's in the house.
Hi, Vita.
Better late than never. Hello, hello.
I really like your videos. Thanks. Goodbye. I think he's talking about both.
He said thanks. Goodbye. Yeah, well, appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so the second announcement is John says I'm waiting for the next World of Warcraft expansion pack. That sounds very random. Is someone talking about World of Warcraft?
I didn't see it. By the way, I just wanted to say, Roy Mo 3014, y'all gonna make beautiful babies. That is true. If we had babies, they would be so beautiful. The rest of the world would be stunned.
Yeah?
For all eternity. They would see that baby and be like,
It's a big statement.
I have just seen the most beautiful baby ever that existed and ever will.
Well, if there's any indication, Becky's beautiful. Also, I have beautiful,
You are beautiful.
niece and nephew.
So I thought you were gonna say eyes or smile or something. Yeah, it is true. I think people say that all the time, and
Yeah.
I believe it. Okay, next one. Are you guys getting used to Korean culture now that you lived there for a while? That's a funny question. It's a funny question because it's like, I would say we grew up in a form of Korean culture. So it wasn't even a matter of getting used to it because we already just grew up in it. But I say a form because culture can evolve and change. And so during the years, we were growing up in one form of like a frozen, stagnant Korean culture in the States, this little pocket here. Coming to Korea, you find the culture has changed and moved on in a way. So adjusting to that, yes. But getting used to, as if we didn't know Korean culture before, not quite. Does that make sense?
I think so. I mean, for me, I feel like I adjusted to Korean culture here very quickly. I mean, I'm still learning new things. I mean, I did learn a lot my first year in terms of how people view things, how things work. Nothing shocked me, to be honest with you, because I think I sort of knew a lot coming in, whether it was through, you know, what Becky was talking about, the culture that we grew up in, even though it was a little bit more, I don't want to use the word outdated, but it was the culture that our parent or our moms knew. But also through like just consuming media and just meeting Koreans from Korea in the States, just kind of seeing how their mindset was. I was like, okay, so I'm aware of what goes on in Korea generally. And I got here and I'm like, okay, cool. All of that was confirmed. And so what I don't know. I sort of thought that when I moved here that I would assimilate a little bit more than I do. It's not that I don't assimilate, but it's just that I realize that I'm just so different because I grew up in America. And I will never be like, I will never have that same mindset as someone who grew up here. So from that angle, like, I'll never get used to it, but I'm used to how things are. Nothing shocks me. I think I have a good understanding of the nuances here, but I don't live that way. You know what I mean? So I realize that, and I don't want that to confuse you in a sense of like, oh, I'm refusing to adapt to Korean culture. No, I'm trying to adapt, and I have been. But what I'm saying is, I'll never mentally be as a Korean is here growing up. I just won't, you know, and that's okay.
Yeah, that has less to do with being half Korean and more to do with just growing up outside of this community, because you innately think or have certain worldviews. You can understand here, but doesn't mean you naturally think that way. And even people who are fully Korean, who grew up completely Korean in the US or outside other countries and come to Korea, there is still a sense of separation. Because I don't think this isn't necessarily like a ethnicity heritage thing. It's a matter of culture. And cultures are different depending on the context or communities you're in.
Right. But yeah, overall, I mean, I think we adjust well. We just live our life here and do our thing. Yeah, so George Mead says
Humphreys is Army, Osan is Air Force.
Okay, cool. And yeah, likely that
Your dad
my
was in
my
Osan.
father never met. Yeah. Man, it would have been very interesting in 1988 to visit during the Olympics, I think.
Yeah, wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, that would have been, because that was a monumental moment for Korea in many ways. And
Do you remember
Korea-
it? I wasn't alive.
man, I was 3,
Oh.
but I don't remember it. But yeah, knowing the history behind it, I mean, that was very pivotal for Koreans or Korea's perception, or the perception of Korea on the world stage, on the global stage at that point. So, and then, you know, shortly after, international travel opened up to Koreans to be able to leave Korea easily. As opposed to prior to that, it was hard to leave and to move to other countries. So that was a very pivotal time.
You could watch Reply 1988. That's a Korean drama that's cast in that time.
Yeah.
1988 time, and they talk about all of that. And
It was a
it's
very popular drama.
very nostalgic for many people. But it can give you a good idea of what it looked like then. 응답하라 1988. Hi, Darren. When is the wedding? We don't know yet. It is not set yet. I'm still trying to decide yet.
Yeah, we haven't focused on it, to be honest.
Would you ever want to get married on Jeju-do?
Maybe.
Wouldn't that be fun?
It would be beautiful for sure.
And we could go scuba diving.
So, next question. Have your moms visited you in Korea and experienced the challenge or the changes to the culture?
That is such a good question.
That is a good question. My
Really
mom
good
visited
question.
in 20. So my mom moved to the United States in 1980, and she hasn't been back until 2012, which is when I came for the first time with my mom, my sister, and brother-in-law. And that was the first time she came back. So she experienced a crazy amount of culture shock. And I remember, as far as like getting around Korea, like in those 3 weeks that I was here visiting, because I at that point, you know, I had a smartphone and things like that, I was able to get around easier than her. And she's noticed that a lot of the language has changed. Like there was a lot of things that she didn't understand when it came to like the Korean language, Konglish, the language. And I remember she was like a little overwhelmed.
Yeah.
She came back again for the second time since she's moved to the States in the end of 2018, which was towards the end of my first year here. She came and visited me for a few weeks. And yeah, same thing. She felt like a fish out of like water. She's very comfortable, I think. Like she's lived in the United States longer than Korea at this point. So I think she's more comfortable in the States with her lifestyle. But I don't know. I think for a lot of people like my mom and probably your mom, they're in between two different worlds.
Yes.
They don't really fit in fully in either.
I think that is a really hard thing to accept if you're in those shoes. I think it's a really sad thing too. My mom came to visit, and I remember that I was the one leading around, knowing everything, and I think she just felt a little bit lost because the city expanded hugely in that short period of time. And then my mom, you know, she would speak Korean, and I remember with the shopkeeper, and partly it probably had to do with me being present, you know, with my mom. And I remember the shopkeeper was looking at us, and then she asked my mom, "Are you Japanese?" And my mom was very offended, and she was like, "No," and then just left. But
Yeah.
it's like, this is how different things are. You know, you get a different aura growing up or living overseas or speaking Konglish, or some Korean phrases and words are not used anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she felt a little bit lost.
Right. I feel like most people who immigrated to the United States, I feel like, especially in the 80s and 90s, I feel like they all feel the same way.
There's a town. So back in the 60s, there were a lot of Korean nurses and miners who immigrated to Germany to work there through a special program that was arranged by the governments. And they were working there, and then maybe it'll be like 15, 20, 30 years later where they would want to come back to Korea and live in Korea and re-assimilate with Korea. But things have changed so much that it's actually very hard for a lot of those people to return to Korea and live as Korean citizens after having been gone for so long. So they created a little German town, I guess. It's like a Korean German town here in Korea where those people can come and live in their home country, but it's still like weird having that separation, you know, not totally assimilated with Korea. That should be your hometown. This should be your home country and not feeling totally part of it. So I think that's a hardship that a lot of people who I think immigrate suffer from.
Yeah.
Or have to deal with.
Yeah, and KS has a follow-up question. Like, I wonder if your mom is sorry that she left. Obviously taking, you know, my dad and me and my sister out the equation. And I'm sure the same can go with your mom. I don't think my mom is sorry. I mean, I think there are things that she misses, but I think she is happy with her decision of moving. You know, maybe if you asked her during that time in the early 80s when she moved, maybe her answer would be different. I don't know. Or maybe she was more, I think honestly, my mom was probably more excited for a better life and new opportunities when she first came to the States. As many people, I mean, that's usually one of the reasons why people just leave their home country is for the promise of a better life for either themselves or their kids.
Yes.
So I think my mom's ultimately happy with her decision. I don't know if she would have been, if she sees herself being happy here, if she were to stay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, you can pontificate on those kind of rhetorical questions all you like. And the truth is, you'll never ever know, because you can't go back in time and relive that and then compare the two parallel possible lives that could have existed. And so I think this is why the best thing to do, you can talk about it, but then ultimately be like, okay, well, this is my life and I want to be happy with it.
Right.
But it is undoubtedly probably a very difficult thing to come to terms with if you do have a hard life now. Yeah. Which gives me a lot of compassion, I think, for people who immigrate.
Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, if you think about 1980, how Korea was, I mean, Korea at that point was already in recovery mode and building up into the economy that it is today, but it's nowhere near where it was today. So it's kind of in between the devastation of the war and where it is now, sort of just building up. And so the 1980s was very key in positioning Korea to be what it is today. So things were a lot different. I don't know if, like, for example, if my mom really saw a future that was as bright as it is now for Korea. So, you know, she made the best decision for herself.
At that time of what she could envision.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it would be similar with my mom. Because she needed an out. And my dad offered the chance to a better life. But there's no way I think people could have guessed Korea would become what it is today.
Right. But even with that, like, the thing is, and I don't want to get too deep right now on this, but I mean, Korea is, I mean, it's definitely a wealthier country, and it's done well outside looking in, but you got to think also, like, how happy are the people who are living here, and how, you know, for the majority of people living in Korea, what is the quality or the the standard of living, the quality of life that
Mm-hmm,
they have. And this is not talking down at all, but it's just the reality of like, you know, yeah, maybe the average family is living in a decent place or decent apartment, but like they're working all the time and they have a very stressful life, and it's hard to really move up unless, you know, you already come from a privileged position. I mean, there's so many nuances to this. Yeah, I don't want to get into
It's like
that.
what you equate to what is happiness,
Yeah.
right? Which is a question everybody is asking. You want to know something interesting? I think is it Burma? Was it Burma? Hold on, I'm just gonna look up something really really fast. Okay. You can go ahead and take the conversation as you like.
Sure. Yeah, so KS says you always bring in some historical perspective.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. It's Bhutan. So Bhutan on the happiness index, which is taking a whole bunch of different factors into consideration. Yes, someone just came in with that. Thank you, Abdul. Is oftentimes highly rated or sometimes top rated as the happiest country in the world. And I was listening to this podcast that was talking about the divergence between Bhutan and the U.S. And I don't know the exact history of it, but there's a point where Bhutan's leader decided to go this direction and the U.S. decided to go towards capitalism. And people say that was the moment where the happiness was changing because the U.S. became more obsessed with capitalism, materialism, with the idea of money equating success, equating value, personal value and happiness, versus Bhutan, which was, I wish I knew better how to say it, but let's just say they went a different direction. And I think we can see this happening here in Korea, a greater obsession with materialism, with money, consumerism, success equaling personal value, which equals happiness. And so that is why obviously we can't be like, oh, these unhappy people, I'm happier than you are. It is all relative, but I do feel like in general we can see, especially in Americanized nations or nations that have a heavy impact from this capitalistic mindset that exists in the US, happiness, I do think, struggles when you're trying to be happy, but you believe or are told success and monetary value equals happiness. And so that is why we have this struggle here in Korea, because it's highly competitive. And when you think making money and success is going to make you happy, but you're constantly struggling with the competition, no wonder you would be unhappy. That is my conclusion.
Yeah, it's a very good point.
Ivy, oh hi Emily, welcome. Ivy asks, with the explosion of Korean culture hitting globally and the influx of foreigners to Korea, how do you see Korea changing? It's an interesting question. How do you see it changing?
Well, it is. I think it is becoming a little bit more globally aware, like Korea. That is like becoming a little bit more aware and sensitive to different cultures and different perspectives. Korea, I think, if you're not aware, has been very much in its own like world for so long, and I think now with more foreigners coming to live here, to work here, living among the average Korean, especially in the metropolitan areas, I think Korea in general is having a little bit more exposure to different countries, different cultures, and so I think it's sort of beginning to open up their
It's like growing
perspective
pains.
a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, there are a lot of people who will criticize Korea in saying that they're very closed off or closed-minded, but you also have to you just have to see it from Korea's side, in a sense of like that's all they've known. Their education is not westernized. Their education is for Koreans to be not global players per se, but for them to succeed in Korea. So their education, their curriculum is centered around Korean culture in Korea and succeeding in Korea. And so so I just think that now Korea has to face the fact that it is a globalized nation, that people are now aware of Korea and now Korea doesn't really get confused with Japan or China that much anymore. And with K-pop culture, I think Korea now has to deal with the growing pains of, okay, now how do we adapt so that we don't offend, with our ignorance, maybe other cultures and other people. And so I think Korea is now starting to change that. Like a good example is, not to get political, but the anti-discrimination laws that we have in, say, for example, in America doesn't exist in Korea yet, but I think eventually Korea is going to have to implement.
Eventually.
Yeah, they just have to.
Yeah.
Not with just other races, but also with like homosexuality and stuff like that. Because in order for Korea to stay on top of the global scene and to be respected, I think, and this is just my opinion, I think that Korea is going to have to eventually go that way. So I feel like Korea is just changing, and it's a little behind in a lot of areas because Korea has developed so quickly from just 70 years ago, from being the bottom, one of the worst and poorest countries, I should say, not the worst, but poorest countries in the world, to what it is now. And so things are just catching up. So that's my kind of convoluted answer to your question.
I have high hopes for Korea overall as a nation, and in the global scene. I think that unlike some other countries, Korea doesn't struggle with a foundational history of exploitation of certain people and races. And so that has to do with Korea's homogeneity and then their history of always being the underdog. So I think if Korea handles this changing, they're becoming more heterogeneous and mixed cultures and influx of foreigners who are now living in Korea, growing up in Korea, having families here in Korea. If Korea, I believe, handles that well, education speaking and also with their policies, I think Korea could be a very healthy and influential country. And so I'm very anticipating to see, okay, how are our governments, how are the people going to handle it? Because I think this innate systemic hatred towards certain people doesn't exist here as it does in, let's say, the US. So I feel like, okay, Korea, get a handle of this now, then you could really progress much farther.
Yeah. It's still gonna take time, but I mean, you got to look at it from a macro perspective. Because we're living in the present time, it almost feels like, oh, it's not happening fast enough. But I feel like over time it'll evolve and change to be more, I guess, overall healthier.
Yeah, and a more welcoming country overall. Inevitable, Korea is going to become more heterogeneous. It's inevitable. We can't stay with this one concept of one blood, one family, one type. We are Korean. That is going, the concept of that, I think, is going to change. It has to change. It's already changing, whether or not people are openly stating that. So it's just a matter of how much pushback, how much fighting is going to happen before, because it's growing pains, essentially. So I think having a gracious mindset to that is going to go a long way. Yeah. Let's see. There's many good comments here. Happiness in westernized countries is happiness based on conditions. Of course, I think true happiness is hard to find because everything is conditional. If we're looking on a bigger scale. Let's see. Ivy says, follow on. Often it can be a two-edged sword. Oh, the competition in Korea. You gain some things, you lose some things. What do you see the losses as being? You gain some things and lose some things. In living in a competitive society? Yeah, that's true. You lose a lot of things, you gain a lot of things. Korea has progressed very rapidly, had a better, higher standard of living for more people. But at the same time, we've seen families have also suffered. We have huge rates of infidelity. And I think that obviously family is the beginning of a society. So if your family is suffering, I think overall societies can start to suffer as well. So I'm not entirely sure if I can say clearly this is a loss or this is a win. No.
Yeah.
Are you zoning?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, there's not too much more I can add to that without getting too deep in the weeds.
Right, yeah. More interracial couples back in 2012. Would you say this is a good percentage? I'm not entirely sure what that means. There was a boom, let's say, of interracial couples in Korea. I can't exactly remember the date, the year. Maybe it was 2012, but there was definitely a time where it was a very higher percentage of interracial couples. And then
Is it lower now?
it dropped.
Oh.
It dropped, and then it's steadily started to climb again. Yeah. Don't know what to say about that though.
Yeah, but from everyone who has lived here for like 10 years or so that I've heard talk about this issue or topic, they all say that there's way more interracial couples now than even 10 years ago. So yeah, and that further confirms what you were saying about you know, this whole concept of one blood and you know, the idea of what it means to be Korean is going to be challenged and probably altered, I think.
I remember even 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago, 12 years ago, when I was visiting in Korea, and I remember I saw no white people at all. The only white person I saw was at the military base. And I remember because we visited the base, and then this one soldier, he came out and started yelling at us because my Ema was driving and she missed the stop sign because she doesn't really follow the rules. And then she was driving and he comes in, "What do you think you're doing?" And I was so like, "Oh, look, there's a foreigner here." But it was so rare to see. I remember that.
Yeah. I'm guessing 1 out of 4 couples are interracial. I have no idea what the numbers are, but you know, another thing to consider is the super low and ever so like decreasing marriage rates and birth rates here in Korea. I think that, you know, and there are a lot of factors that's contributing to that, but I think one of the things to maybe think about that's interesting to think about is, you know, I think a lot of, I don't want to speak for all Korean women for sure, but a lot of Korean women, they don't want to marry like Korean men, or they just don't want to marry, period. But if they do, they might feel like finding a foreigner might be like they might end up being happier versus, you know, marrying into sort of a Korean mindset. Yeah. So that's just stuff that I've noticed and sort of heard people talk about.
Yeah.
But I can't speak for Korean women for sure.
In the idea that as, to put it in kind of strong terms, the Korean blood is being watered down by these foreigners or outsiders, that the Korean culture is going to be diluted, right? It's going to be changing so badly and dramatically. I mean, culture is always facing that, I guess, I don't even want to call it a battle or a struggle or anything like that. It's not necessarily a bad thing for cultures to change. The important thing is preservation of cultures. And I imagine as cultures are always changing and evolving, Korean culture will as well.
Yeah.
I feel like Ivy and KS are dominating this chat. Wonder what everyone else is doing. They've just wandered off and leaving this open.
Yeah, I mean, these are all very interesting things to think about, to talk about. Becky and I talk about it a lot. Yeah, we might just talk about these topics.
Very good questions.
But yeah, so we'll go ahead and pivot from this topic and the other announcement that some of you guys are probably already aware of that I wanted to make on this live stream as well. And I'm personally super excited about it because it's been a passion of mine for 10 years or so.
Whoa.
Is I'm launching a new channel, second YouTube channel, and it's about personal finance. And so some of you guys have probably seen on my Instagram and even through the YouTube community page, I posted the first video the other day. But yeah, so I'm launching a personal finance channel, basically helping to simplify the world of personal finance, of money management, investing, talking about retirement. This is something that I've been doing for many years. I just haven't been vocal about it on the Sky City channel at all. So, you know, it might feel like it's very random topic to base a whole channel off of, but it's something that I really wanted to do for many different reasons. But I wanted to announce it for any of you guys who are interested in personal finance, whether you've been sort of in the finance game, like yourself, and have been investing for years, or if you're just starting out and you're like, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to manage my finances, I don't know anything about retirement. I think this channel would be very good for you to subscribe to and to really just kind of gain inspiration, maybe get some tips and strategies, some ideas on how you can manage your money, how you can plan for retirement. Because there are many different ways to do that. And so I plan on addressing all of those topics and super excited about it. So for those of you guys that are interested in personal finance, interested in your money and retirement, or just learning more and you're curious, then definitely subscribe to the channel. It's called Journey of Finance. Actually, we could put it in the chat.
I'll put it in the chat,
if you don't
everybody.
mind.
It's called. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah. So I'm curious. Out of everyone who is in the live stream right now, is personal finance a topic that you are interested in? Yeah, I'm curious. Let's actually post a link because I don't know if people can find it.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm really curious. And if you're not interested in personal finance, you're like, money, I'm good. If you're like Francisco and you're sitting on a mill, then that's cool. But if that's something that you're interested in leveling up, let me know in the comments.
Yeah, I think it is important. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's important to just keep it clearly defined. Journey of Finance is this over here, and Sky City, and the other half of it is over here.
Yeah, so...
And the half project's over here.
So, all right. So, Becky just shared the link to the channel. Because it is new, and I don't have at least 100 subscribers, I can't have a personalized link. So, it's just a big old long link. So,
Cute.
Yeah, so I just uploaded the first video, I think 3 days ago. And I think I broke 150 views.
Woo!
So super excited about that.
Yeah.
Hoping to get to 100 subscribers. If I could do that in the next week, I'd be so happy. But yeah, so if you guys are interested in that, definitely head over to the channel. I'll let you do that right now. Subscribe, hit that notification bell. I'm uploading the second official video tonight. And that will be, I guess, Saturday morning for a lot of you guys, but tonight in Korea time, and which is Saturday night, and it's gonna be good. So I've already recorded 5 videos, and I'm scripting out several more. So like this is legit. Like I'm going full force with this.
He has been working on this so much for the past 2 weeks. I haven't seen him. This is my first time seeing him in 2 weeks, guys. Just kidding. It's not that traumatic. But he has been really uber focused, and he's put a lot of work into this because he wants to do it right and give you guys good information, because he really wants to help people take care of their finances.
For sure.
So important.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been working on just really launching that. It's already officially launched, but I'm really, of course, as any YouTuber, if you could call it that, who really wants to like grow their impact and their reach. You want to grow healthily, and you want to grow fast in order to impact more people. So I want to do things right, but I also want to grow as fast as possible, but enjoy the journey.
He wants to make enough money so I can buy anything I want.
Pretty much. I'm doing this literally for her. Yeah, so it's essentially, to be honest with you, and this is how I look at it, this is me starting another business, essentially. So it's not just a YouTube channel, it's a business and a brand that I'm starting. So that's why I'm putting a lot of effort and time into it.
The journey of finance.
Yeah, so again, I see that some of you guys went over to subscribe. Thank you so much. I think, I don't think you guys will be disappointed for sure. It'll take time to obviously upload video and content, but yeah, they're all coming. Different topics. We're going to be talking about how to budget. For even beginners, we're going to be talking about mistakes that I've made with finances and money. We're going to be talking about investing. We're going to be talking about stocks. We're gonna be talking about like 401ks if you got 401k at work. I mean, just any and everything, real estate, crypto. So yeah, it's gonna be really fun. It's gonna be a fun journey. So
do you want me to appear on it? Should I appear on the channel, guys? Let me hear you say no.
yeah. So and another thing that would be very, very awesome is when I do upload, if you guys watch it, give it a like, because the channel is so new. So it's so funny to like sort of start over with a new channel, because I'm like having flashbacks to when I started this channel, the Sky City channel. I'm like, wow, this is like how it feels to be a new YouTuber. And so it would be very helpful if you guys found value in the video. If you know anyone who would value, you know, topics on personal finance, definitely share it with them. I think it'll really help the channel, and it'll signal to YouTube and the algorithm, hey, maybe this video is worth pushing out to more people. And that'll help the channel grow, I think, quickly. So that'll be very, very helpful. But again, if you're not interested in personal finance, you're not interested in those type of videos, don't subscribe.
Not forcing you.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'd rather it be valuable for you guys. So yeah.
I would like to mention one thing about Journey of Finance channel. So I have a very, negative concept of these people who are like, this is how you can get rich, and nah. So I've always just been like, whatever, I don't listen to you guys, you scammers. But he means it seriously. And after meeting with Coco, I have learned it is important to handle your finances well. It is not equating happiness whatsoever. And also the same thing, money does not equal evil either. But it is all a matter of how you view it.
Yeah.
And don't let money control you. You control your money.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe this is what I should do. I should just appear on your channel as like that like money guru who just appears in the corner every once in a while, and I just put out these platitudes.
Right.
Don't let money control you. You control your money, and then I'll float off scene.
That's so funny.
Maybe
yeah,
that's
we'll do some interesting stuff for sure. Yeah, I'm super excited about it. Like, just a fun fact, I used to work in finance for a couple of years in New York City, and I also worked at a bank. That didn't last long. I worked as a banker for about a year for Chase Bank. I bet none of y'all knew that.
Boring.
The bank, I'm not gonna lie, working at the bank was boring. I was quite miserable, which is why it didn't last long. So I pivoted to.
Good to know that.
I pivoted to working on my real estate investment business. But yeah, working at the bank was like.
I would like to say, before I met you, my retirement plan was, guys, I'm gonna be a rich actress or marry a prince. That was my retirement plan, and then I met him, and wow, things have changed.
So I'm not rich like a prince.
I
yet.
am rich, but in a different way. But seriously, I have like way more money now. And I'm not just talking because we added finances together, but because you're helping me to handle my own better. Yeah,
for sure. And we have a question about how do we discuss money matters as a couple? Well, for us, it's actually quite easy because Becky's very like, she's very whatever.
Chill.
She's like whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, this is the strategy, or this is how we should do this, and this. She's like, okay.
The hardest discussion that we have about money is where I say, Cooks, can I have money to go get a facial treatment? And then he's like, how much is it? I'm like, $200. And then he says, it's too expensive. I'm like, $150. So it's too expensive. That is for me the toughest financial discussions to have. Because everything else I'm very cool with.
It's a matter of, so the context
but it's
is
so worth it.
We could easily, we could pay for the treatment. That's fine.
Did you not see my face 10 years ago?
Her face is fine.
It is so worth
Her face is fine
getting
now.
Professional skincare treatments, okay? I'm willing to drop the money on that. I don't have to pay for anything else. I live very frugally, but that I'm willing to put the money.
Yeah. So, you'll find out on the channel why I would say no to that. And it's not that I'm saying no, but we're very collaborative.
This is my moneymaker.
So we basically like the thing is it's important for me to make sure that she's on board and to make sure that we're in agreement with everything with
That's
finances.
the most important thing.
Yeah, because I know for a lot of relationships, money is a point of contention.
Why?
And so like for us, we don't let it be and we just talk about everything.
You know what I think it is? I think because there's no ego involved. I think it's very easy when it comes to money to have ego. Either you have on one side, he's like, no, she should not make more money than me. And then because she makes more money than me, I've got a problem with this and it's an ego. I want to be the breadwinner. Forget that, okay? Calm down. Money is money. Money will come, money will go. And it does not have anything to do with how good you are or your own personal value as a human being. So it's just money is a tool. That's all it is. See? This should be another one of my platitudes. I'll float in. Ooh, let go of the ego. Ooh.
So funny. Yeah, I'm actually gonna type in the chat as well. I have a journey of finance.
And the other thing, our scope, we don't need a little red Corvette. That is true. We don't need a little red Corvette. I think a big factor is knowing when to spend your money and what you actually need and what you actually don't. Again, ego. I don't need to show off my red Corvette. Ooh.
Yeah, so like here's the thing, like I will say this, like for me, I don't look at finances. I look at finances as very subjective and it's very individualistic on like everyone's situation, right? I'm not a penny pincher and I don't neglect getting an extra coffee or something like that. Like I'm just not that type of person. Some people have to be like that and their situation warrants that. But for me, it's more like, okay, I don't want to spend money on something that adds zero value to me, and I'd rather put that money towards something that'll make me more money. So yeah, so I'm not like a cheapskate or anything like that.
I used to be a cheapskate.
But I mean, you know, depending on your situation and what you got to do, you know, if you're in that point in your life where you got to be frugal about everything, more power to you. Like your net worth ultimately isn't your human worth. Like they shouldn't be confused. Like it doesn't make you a worse person or less valuable.
Right.
So,
and why be embarrassed? There's no reason to be embarrassed about money, guys. Even when you have no money. You know, there was even time when we were dating, and once I had $12 in my account, and I went on a date with you because I needed dinner. Like otherwise, I was gonna go home and just eat. I don't know what I had.
That's so sad.
Like it's literally I had reached those points before. And then you also said to me, hey, if you ever need money, you can ask me. And I said, no! But don't be embarrassed about money, guys.
Yeah, and of course, it depends on how you view money, what your values are. But yeah, and so basically the journey of finance will be more, it'll be less about philosophy, more about just like objective
practical
tips.
Tools.
Yeah, but I'll sprinkle in my philosophies in there.
And I'll float in and drop some bits of wisdom.
But yeah, I think it'll be something that will be very life-changing, especially if you don't know what to do, if you're overwhelmed with, what do I do with my money? How do I even budget? Like there's no shame in saying, I don't even know how to really budget.
Judgment-free zone, guys.
So I feel like, it'll be very helpful, especially over the coming months when I upload more videos. So again, be very helpful. If you are interested in that, if you could just, head over, subscribe. Also have the Journey of Finance Instagram, where I'll be posting on there regularly as well. And you'll see announcements about the channel on there. But that's super exciting. So I'm going to be spending a lot of time building that up because that is, again, it's a business. It's a brand. And so I'm treating it like that. But also, that's not going to take the place of Sky City channel. We're still going on as normal.
This is just the announcement, in case anyone here is interested. But after that, it's just, they're two separate entities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I might pop in here and there just to plug myself.
Here he is Sky City. There he is Cedric.
I'm Cedric. I don't even say Sky City.
That is
I'm just keeping it separate. Yeah, I don't want people to get confused. So I'm just Cedric Stout.
Yeah.
Which is really weird to say on camera. I'm so used to saying Cedric Sky City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't worry about the confusion. They're just two separate things.
Yeah, so I mean, it's cool to know that some of you guys are interested, and thank you again for those who went over to subscribe. Yeah, let's grow this channel together. You guys are the OGs. But yeah, we'll see where it goes.
Let's see where it goes.
Definitely. So yeah, those were really the two major launches and projects. Was the podcast, the other half of it, and the Journey of Finance YouTube channel, which is my personal channel. So basically what we have represented right here, we have Sky City.
This Sky City.
And then we have the Halfie project.
This is a Halfie project.
Do you have another hand to do Journey of Finance?
Sky City, Halfie project, Journey of Finance.
Right. So three different brands, and they're all separate projects and separate businesses, if you will. But there is obviously overlap with Sky City and Halfie project a little bit more because they're more related.
Yes.
But they're also still separate.
Yeah. We're just the same people doing those. It's like you have somebody who started an EDM music band under the name of Shooting Stars. And then that same person who's in that EDM band started an indie group of folk music, and they call themselves Samantha. It's the same person, but two different entities.
It's kind of like Bruno Mars, Anderson .Paak,
and Silk Sonic.
Right.
Bruno Mars and the what's his backup group called?
Oh man, I forget.
The Hustlers.
I don't know. Yeah, but he's
Anyways,
got his crew,
yeah,
his
he's got Bruno
projects,
Mars
his
and then
albums. Yeah,
Silk Sonic.
it's pretty similar.
It's the same thing.
So yeah, we just out here hustling in these streets, man. We trying to get our own, you know. We're trying to make some honest money.
I'm glad you guys are excited about that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's no shame to talk about money. It's fine.
Yeah. So we're very, very, very excited. So as you can imagine, we've been very, very busy, but it's fun.
Yeah. I don't really have anything else to say. I just keep thinking about Bob.
Good old Bob. Yeah, but yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I don't have too much more. I mean, so as far as the Sky City channel, I think the next video.
Oh, we have a nice video coming.
Yeah, we have another video coming about our Busan trip.
Yes.
Be a little bit more of a, I guess, a creative video.
Yeah, because the last one was just a vlog, and it was actually filmed a lot on the phone. So now you guys are gonna get the real deal.
Yeah. So we've got that coming, and we also have the podcast launch. So we'll keep you updated on when that officially launches over the next week or so. And yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and I remember we were saying we need to do a skincare video. A lot of people have been asking me questions about skincare.
Yeah.
I really, really, really want to do that, especially because I recently had a big, terrible breakout, and I want to talk about how to deal with that.
Right. Yeah, so we got a skincare video that we're going to be doing. We've got the apartment tour that we're still going to do. Yeah.
There's a lot of things to come on the Sky Sandy channel.
Yeah. So as always, thank you guys for the support. I think especially you guys who who listen to us for 2 hours on a live stream. You guys are definitely like true supporters. We appreciate that. Vita, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Crazy Diamond, yes, we making it rain out here. And yeah, thank you guys so much. It definitely means a lot. And yeah, I mean, I think we'll probably go ahead and wrap it up here because we got a lot of work to do, some more editing. So
Yeah.
be on the lookout for new videos on Halfie Project.
Coming
We've got the
soon.
Hemong one.
This week.
Yeah, Journey of Finance releasing a new video tonight, and Sky City be releasing new videos very soon. So anyways, thank you guys so much. We will see you soon.
We'll see you in the next video. Remember to always seize the day. Peace.
Peace out. Happy weekend, everyone.